Nope. Nope. Oh. Nope.
Hey, so I am here with Sammy. Sammy is an aggressive dog. Sammy doesn't like anybody or anything walking by the fence. Sammy doesn't like anybody or anything inside of his yard, inside of his house. And Sammy is just aggressive. The owner cannot, as you can see, cannot really handle Sammy when it comes to other people, and it's just not a well-balanced situation for either of them. Sammy is a stray rescue and needs a lot of guidance here. He is resource guarding. He is territorial. He doesn't have any boundaries. He is just being aggressive, and he needs to learn to not be aggressive. I've already done a consultation with them as well as a first session where we were inside, and I did a lot of the owner working some back and forth with Sammy while I sat down and let him just have my presence known. But as you can see, it really didn't help. So I decided with this session, we're not going to play games. Sammy needs to get out of that comfort zone, realize that he's not in charge, and he needs to be able to be put at a baseline to where we can actually work with him. So whenever you see situations like this, you'll see other dog trainers having similar situations where the dog looks like they're being flung around, swung around. Nothing is actually happening on my end. The dog is the one doing all of the movement, and I'm just controlling the lead. I'm just making sure that they stay safe and I stay safe. So you can see Sammy is not happy, ears pinned back. Sammy is still kind of iffy about me, more than kind of, really iffy about me. So he's going to be reacting a little bit longer here, and I'm going to just be controlling his movement. A lot of people will consider this flooding, and sure, it is a little bit of flooding, but it's what I'm going to need to do in order to actually positively reinforce the behaviors we want to see.
Nope. Come on. Good. Sit.
So if you can see, this muzzle is a Baskerville muzzle. It is a great muzzle to use, but it's a little bit small for Sammy. What we want to have is a muzzle that allows them to full open mouth pant. Baskervilles are not bite proof, but usually when somebody gets bit through one, it's user error. It's going to be when you either get your fingers into the holes of the basket muzzle, or it's too small, or it's too big, or it's not properly adjusted, or somebody's using a broken muzzle and trying to use it. But if you actually pay attention to your digits and utilize the equipment properly, there's no bite risk. Even though this is slightly too small, it's not so small that it's dangerous, and it's something we can work on or work with during the session. So Sammy is still going to be fighting back a little bit, but I'm going to keep controlling it. We're going to do a lot of back and forths. We're going to be getting Sammy out of that comfort zone and then just to relax a little bit. And by the end of this video, you're going to absolutely see Sammy relaxing and just chilling and just realizing that he can exist sometimes without having to be aggressive. And that's going to change everything. So I did realize that his muzzle wasn't put on appropriately. It needs to be strapped to the collar. So we went ahead and fixed that situation for safety purposes. If you don't have it, like I said before, if you don't have it connected appropriately, then it can be dangerous. It could easily slip upwards, and then if Sammy wanted to bite me, he absolutely would.
And yeah, I'll let you take this. I actually have another collar that will fit through it. Okay. And I'm going to use that to fit it.
Okay.
All right.
Reset.
Got it. Yeah, got it. Yep, come on.
So you can see these back and forth movements, and Sammy not liking it, still trying to fight back. So the slip lead that I'm using is a really good tool. You're not going to really strangle a dog with a slip lead if you're using it appropriately. It's a lot less pressure on the trachea of dogs, unlike flat leads. So that's the reason for that in this training session. And if you see, I'm not putting tight pressure all the time. I'm keeping it close to being tight, so that way I don't have to yank it very hard in order to make corrections, and I can still make the corrections very timely, so that way it is exactly when it needs to happen. So about 60%, I would say, of my training sessions is actually training the owner. That's probably the hardest part of the job, is training the pet owner, the handler, to be able to be me when I'm not there, because for every hour session that I'm there, if they do another session in a week, how many hours in a day? How many hours do they have to get it wrong to make this session useless? And that's not, we want to set them up for success, both the owner and the dog. And that's what I'm going to be doing here. So I'm going to let the video play with audio, and you can listen in, and if there's any key moments, I'll jump in here and explain what's going on.
Understand that this is okay. This is fine. Good. Good.
Good voice.
Good. Come on. Come. So right now, the aggression that he has when he was jumping at me, it wasn't, he wasn't trying to attack me. He was trying to get away.
Yeah.
And that's what he wants to do right now, is get away. If he's off leash, he's like, I'll attack you all day. But now he's on leash and knows I can control him. He's like, no, I want to get away from you.
Yeah.
So we're just working through this. That's all it is.
Like looking away from you, trying
Yeah.
to do
Hey.
integration. So
Hey. Good. Yes. Yes. His pupils are not heavily dilated.
that's good.
That's a very good sign. Good. Kim, can you walk in front of the fence?
As you can see there, that was my fault. I was backing up so I can get right next to Sammy. I wasn't paying attention to his tail, and I put a little pressure on it, and it freaked him out a little bit, but he didn't violently react at me, and that was great. So I praised him, but I did realize that, and further in this video you'll see where I'm backing up again, and that time I pay attention to where his tail is and make sure I move it out of the way before I decide to step.
we're working on this. Walking by. So.
Yeah.
I have one of my team walking back and forth by the fence line, getting close to it, touching it. Just, I want Sammy to be able to see this happening and knowing that it is completely okay for it to be happening. And so I'm going to be giving him some praise, some head pats and things like that, some ear scratches. And then we're going to let the owner do the handling, and I'm going to help give some advice and instruct as we go.
Kim, this time I want you to stop right in front of that gate. Alright, go ahead and touch the gate. Yes, good! Good! Alright, you can keep walking back and forth. That's awesome. That's good stuff. Alright, I'm going to back away from him. Right? Now I want to see if he reacts with Kim when you're holding the lead.
Got it. Okay.
Go ahead, Kim. Absolutely.
Leaves to cake.
And at this point, he's watching. He's not reacting. Like I said, we're going to get to work today. I'm not playing around today. I want him to succeed, and I can't coddle him. He's not a dog that can be coddled right now.
Good voice. Very good.
Now, what happens if you walk him a little bit closer to the fence while Kim's standing there? Yeah, he's a little tired out. He is a little tired out. It is. All that stress and anxiety he had is extremely tiring, but as he learns, like right now, we controlled him. We gave him basically a command. We told him, this is what we expect out of you, and we gave him a job now. We told him like this is what you're supposed to be doing, and that guidance alone right there will lower that stress heavily. It will make it less stressful. And God, I could only imagine living every single day on edge like him, you know?
He's realizing like this isn't a job.
Yeah,
Right. So,
absolutely. That's your job. That's your job. Chuck, hey. Yeah, that's what we want to see. That's only what we want to see. Hey, how's it going?
good boy.
How's it going?
Hello.
How's it going? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Great, great. So with your left hand, so you hold them nice and close like that. With your left hand, see if you can reach out and good. There you go. Yes, and that's the praises that he gets. He gets praises for all of that. All right, Kim, can you walk up and shake his hand too?
So here, when Kim walks up to shake the owner's hand, she trips on part of the broken sidewalk, and that movement alone kind of freaks Sammy out a little bit, but the owner does a fantastic job with correcting the behavior and putting Sammy back into a sit. And that's exactly what we want to see. Again, I want to make sure that the owners have the tools for success, because this is their dog and this is the reality for them right now, and we want to change that to reality to something they can actually work with and manage and then be comfortable with. The end game here is not necessarily to have Sammy out of the muzzle on walks and things like that. That's not always the case for dogs like this, and sometimes they'll never be able to be out of the muzzle. Sometimes they will, only time it will tell, but we want it to where Sammy can just relax for once and just enjoy being a dog and not be anxious all the time, not be stressed out, and the owners not be stressed out. And you can just see by the facial expressions alone that this owner is starting to feel relief and become more confident themselves in handling this dog.
Good boy. Good boy. All right, come on. No. Sit. Sit. Every time he does that, it's just one step closer. One step closer to him not doing it. Because every time he does that, and we realize, oh, it's not working. And it's not going to work. I cannot get away with this, and this guy's not putting up with my crap. That's what he's doing. And he's doing good. He's doing good. Like, the biggest thing is it's not aggression.
Yeah.
It's not pure aggression. What it is you're starting the house, so it's resource guarding.
Okay.
Right? It's resource guarding. And then with me, it's just he doesn't want me doing what I'm doing.
Sure.
So he's trying to hurt.
What I see time and time again is we have a lot of behaviorists and trainers out here that can't and won't handle dogs like this, so they immediately recommend drugging them or euthanizing, behavioral euthanization. And I don't agree with that at all. If you can't handle this dog as a pet professional, then it's outside of your skill level. There's nothing wrong with that, nothing bad about admitting that. But there's plenty of trainers out here and behaviors out here that can work with these dogs, and these dogs can absolutely come around. So yeah, let's just enjoy the rest of the session, and like and subscribe if you like this content, and I'm going to keep posting more. Enjoy.
Good, Sammy. Good boy. That's good. Good, Sammy. Inside, come on. All right, sit. 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 Sammy, sit. Good. That was good. You saw we walked right next to Kim. Yeah, we walked right next to Kim. Again, he's not a fan right now of this, and that's completely fine. I'm glad we haven't even had to use a prong collar yet.
Yeah.
You know, and that's great. That means that we might not have to. We might not have to. Yeah. She might be afraid of the strength, because if he really wants to get at somebody, and you didn't have the same power resistance against him, you're getting dragged. You're getting dragged. You're gonna get rolled over.
Unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. So after I'm done with him, I know you're fine. Good. Good. No reaction. No reaction. Yeah. Yep. Awesome. So after you put the pup up, anything, If you want to step outside real quick, I want to go over a couple things with you. I care about you realizing that anything you do right now is unacceptable, and you realizing that you don't have to protect the house all the time. You don't have to resource guard everything. You don't have to control everybody's movements. Yeah, that's great. That's great right there. We're making heavy progress. We're making heavy progress. It's not that I'm good. Anybody with enough animal behavior knowledge can do it. Just most people refuse to work with aggressive animals, and because of that, and not a lot of people have enough experience to be able to do it. And that's the only difference. I have the experience. So Sammy, you want to go inside? Come on, up.